I'm Jessica Gatzo, citing Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 6:07.
Your need-to-know cultural snapshot of Wisconsin and beyond. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Max. A deep dive into all things intriguing, riveting, and entertaining. And now your host for the evening, here's Sandy Max.
Oh yeah! Good evening, and thanks for joining me on this special edition of What's on Tap. As a Milwaukee Brewers fan and as an original Milwaukee Brewers in-game host, I feel like tomorrow should be a Wisconsin holiday. Tomorrow is the birthday of legendary broadcaster and entertainer Bob Uecker. And I'm Sandy Max. Thanks for joining me on Bob's birthday eve with two guests in the WTMJ studio tonight who have gotten to know him pretty well over the past year. There is a documentary film in progress called Ueck. And it is my pleasure to introduce you to the co-directors of this project. Hello, Steve Farr.
Sandy.
We're going to have you lean into the microphone.
Hello, Sandy.
There you go. There's that voice we want to hear. And
okay.
Hello, Michael T. Volman.
Hi there.
How
Thanks
are you
for having
both
us.
doing?
We're doing well. Thanks for having us.
Happy Bob's birthday eve to you.
Happy Bob's birthday eve to you. Yeah, it's a mouthful.
And this project, what I've seen of it so far, is going to be a real way to share just the phenomenon that Bob Uecker is. Why are you making Ueck, the documentary film?
I mean, who wouldn't want to make a documentary about Bob Uecker?
Right.
Right. I mean, it's not like it was an original idea. I'm sure a lot of people have thought about doing it. I know through our production team, we've talked a lot about, just over the years we've talked, wouldn't it be cool to make a documentary about Bob Uecker? And I guess we kind of came into an opportunity. It kind of actually all happened really quick. We just, after talking about it for a long time, we actually took some initiative. Steve had some connections. Steve has directed a lot of commercials in the city, actually nationally and in Milwaukee, and he had some connections to some people that could connect us to Bob.
Connection. We had done a little project for ALS, and Bob was in it. And so I kind of had connections from having done that, several months before this kind of came along.
Well, and you have to convince Bob Uecker to participate, don't you? I mean, he's this person who, as much of a public figure and magnetic personality that he is and so beloved, he's not the kind of guy who says, hey, it's all about me. Let's put the spotlight on me. So that has to be a sensitive relationship and quite a score to convince him to participate and let you follow him all last year.
Yeah, you're right about that. Well, we made sure that once we got through to Bob and he was interested, he wanted to talk, we could have done a phone call with him, but instead the four of us, two of us flew in from Milwaukee, Michael and I, and our two producers, Matt and Jeremy, came in from Los Angeles, but we flew into Scottsdale. This was a year ago. And
yeah, almost a year to
today.
Today.
Yeah, exactly, right. And we met him for lunch, and we thought maybe this would be an hour and a half, something like that. And it was 4.5 hours of Bob telling one classic story after another. I mean, where you couldn't even, there was no bathroom break. It was just one story after another. And eventually we kind of had to just say, sorry, Bob, we got to catch a flight in 45 minutes. And he's like, you guys got to get out of here. So
yeah, it was almost like we thought we were going there to convince him, but I think he'd already made up his mind. He kind of had made a decision. He looked at our credentials and I think a lot of decisions he makes is through word of mouth and people he knows, and I guess he got a good recommendation from someone close to him, and I think it was a great. I mean, it was kind of an amazing lunch. It was like we should probably tell him that we have to catch a flight soon. But
nobody wants to stop that.
To stop it.
No, because it's special for your audience, and he's just full of all those stories. So, congratulations for earning the project, for earning his trust, because you've spent hours in his own home, not just following him at ballparks all last season.
Correct. I mean, our hope
that's the inner sanctum. I mean, that's very special.
Right. I don't know, probably 3/4 of what we have filmed has been at the ballpark. And then we've done interviews with him at home, which made sense. He's a little, private a little bit. I think
he's definitely.
I think he protects his, his home life a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I think our hope was to have a more, peel back the curtain and see what it's like to be Bob, at home, and what's his, how does he prepare for, his broadcasts, or just what's he like at home, and I think we still want to get a little more of that.
It's funny because every time we go over there, we're like, Bob, you can just do whatever you do. Like we'll just put cameras on you, and you do your daily life. But I don't think he's really interested in that. He's like, you're here. He's going to entertain you. He wants you to have a good time.
Right.
His wife Judy's like offering us plates of meat and cheese, and like
he's a connector.
Definitely.
I mean, honestly,
Absolutely.
that's really his gift. We're going to hear more from behind the scenes of the documentary film Uke with the co-directors as we celebrate Bob Uecher's birthday just a few hours early. Next on What's on Tap.
Earn now, spend later during Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Rewards Members Dollar Days. Now through the end of January, Rewards members earn $10 in Blaine's Bucks for every $100 spent in store to redeem just like cash, February 8th through the 21st. Start earning today with 40-pound bags of Easy Heat wood fuel pellets, $4.99. Rewards members pay just $4.79. Plus, get up to 70% off assorted holiday decor, candles, and other clearance items. Earn Blaine's Bucks now to spend later during Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Rewards Members Dollar Days.
Hey, I'm Sandy. Max, and are your parents or a loved one at the stage where it's just kind of getting difficult to maintain their home, especially when it comes to wintertime and the snow and the ice and all the work it takes to keep the property safe? Well, maybe this is the year, 2024, the perfect year to donate the shovels, the salt buckets, and let the kind folks at Three Pillars handle all of that snow removal and ice. Just enjoy life. Located in scenic Lake Country, Three Pillars is the state's top-rated senior living community. It's a safe, serene setting for your loved ones, and they offer a full continuum of care, so they're covered every step of the way. See for yourself. Make an appointment to tour Three Pillars today at threepillars.org.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant impact on your life. I know you know this, and I know that taking action isn't always convenient. But at Advent, we've done all we can to make changing your life for the better as easy as possible. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. With tens of thousands of our patients, a thorough breathing triangle evaluation, along with a simple 20-minute in-office procedure called balloon sinuplasty, has opened their nasal passages, allowing them to breathe freely through their nose for good. And there's a good chance this procedure can do the same for you. We'll help you breathe through your nose again, and it will change your life.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
You're listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Max on WTMJ.
I did the first Tonight Show in 1969.
Thank you. Really good. Thanks.
You know, I've been doing colleges and sports banquets around the country.
That's what you welcome, Bob Uecker.
But now it hits me, right? The Tonight Show. That was the biggest show there was on television.
That is you down here?
Yes, that's me. That's my hidden ball trick.
As we're saying goodnight, I shake hands with Johnny, and as I'm walking away, I hear Johnny say to Ed, "Did that guy really play?" And Ed said, I think so. I don't know.
He is known simply as Mr. Baseball, Bob Uecker.
I'll tell you what, this is the closest ticket Bob Uecker's ever had in his life to an event.
Good seats, huh?
You're in the wrong seat, buddy. Come on.
Oh, I must be in the front row.
Belvedere.
Yes, George?
My potatoes are lumpy.
Let me call Idaho.
When you think of great baseball players, a lot of names come to mind. Bob Uecker is not one of them.
That is an excerpt from the documentary film in progress called Uke, celebrating Bob Uecker's career. As you can hear, his pop culture impact and the connection he has made with people. I'm Sandy Max, and on What's on Tap tonight, I'm joined in the WTMJ studio by two local filmmakers involved in this Uke documentary, co-directors Steve Farr and Michael T. Volman. And in that clip, we hear Johnny Carson. And you also get a glimpse of Uke and professional wrestling, and he's had such a solid presence in pop culture, from TV to beer commercials to sports. Guys, what is the process of getting this mammoth amount of entertainment footage from over the decades? I mean, in my mind, I have images of stacks of VHS tapes. Like, where do you find these nuggets of great video?
Yeah, I mean, that's been a really fun process, just trying to find as much as we can from all the things he's done. Johnny Carson, Belvedere Show, he's done all these, the Miller Lite ads that really kind of made him pop, definitely in pop culture. He did Saturday Night Live. I mean, countless shows. He was just kind of all over television. And the fascinating thing was that, like, I kind of knew, I knew how, I think as people from, like, I'm from Milwaukee, and so it's almost as if, like, an old friend that you knew from the old days, and he, like, goes out and becomes a star. You kind of always think of him as, like, the hometown guy, and, like, but you kind of take for granted how sort of what a pop phenomenon he is.
And how do you choose which clips make the cut for the film when there are so very many? Is it the ones that make you laugh the most? The ones maybe it might be more rare?
I mean, the truth is, we still have a lot more culling down to do.
I'll bet.
I mean, it's funny. When we were doing some interviews with Bob at his house, and like Michael said, Judy's always kind of close by, making sandwiches or something, and she came out with this, grocery bag, brown paper bag, just full of VHS tapes, and she said, "Well, there's stuff in here. There's a lot of stuff in here you might want to look at," and so. We did, and it was a little bit of everything. It was Belvedere, and it was Tonight Show episodes, and a little bit of home movies, and
even like Admiral's commercials, local stuff.
And
it wasn't like labeled really very well. So it was kind of, you put the tape in and just we'll see what it's going to be, and it's a treasure trove of kind of fun stuff.
Yeah. As a documentarian, like, this must be part of the labor of life. It's still work. It's hours and hours, and that's got to be some of the, I hesitate to even say tedious, just because it would be such a joy, but you also fall down the rabbit hole. Like, you just do that on YouTube. So now you've got a 6-hour VHS cassette that used to live in Bob Uecker's VCR. Right. Like, how do you not, just mathematically, that time. Yeah. It's got to be engrossing.
Yeah, we've spent a lot of time throughout this last season doing that, and just we pop in VHS tapes and, like, try to digitize them. I'd be sending clips to Steve and our director of photography, Joe Peachlow, and he'd just be like, "Look what we found! We found these great clips." Him doing stand-up, stuff like that.
I want to get into. What were you say, Steve?
Well, I was just going to say also we're in communication with Major League Baseball with their team in New York. There's a archival footage department, basically, and so we've had a couple calls with them, and they want to help as much as they're able.
Yeah, they must have some wonderful archives.
Sure.
He's
I don't know. We don't know how much they actually have of Bob's playing career because
Bob's playing career.
Pretty much.
We're going to get into that. Those early days of Bob at Milwaukee with the co-directors of the documentary film Uke. They'll share more behind the scenes stories of the creative process and what the next steps are, coming up on What's on Tap.
Sun, 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 fun, fun, fun. Sun, 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 every kind of boat under the sun.
That boat show music is back, and so is Wisconsin's largest boat show. Everything from family runabouts, ski and surf boats, fishing boats, luxury pontoons, and more Great Lakes cruisers and motor yachts. We have the boats. Shop for skis, boards, and tubes at the Tubers Truckload Sale. Check MilwaukeeBoatShow.com. January 19 through 28, State Fair Park.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Flimsy, feeble, flaccid. That's how you can describe most pre-approval letters these days. Heck, a lot of big banks issue pre-approval letters using soft credit pulls instead of real credit reports. Do you really want to compete in today's still low inventory market with a soft credit pull and a pre-approval that's silent on 2 of the 3 critical elements of a mortgage approval? A rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from AccuNet not only verifies your credit with a real credit report, We also verify your income and down payment, and then issue a letter with a $2,000 guarantee to back it up. And now, Accunet is issuing property-specific pre-approvals that often come with this sweet phrase: no appraisal required. That's right, Accunet may be able to issue your pre-approval at or above the seller's asking price without needing an appraisal. Today's home market is still a metaphorical knife fight. Your bank is offering you, well, a pocket knife. Accunet is Crocodile Dundee. Now that's a knife, mate. Click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Hey, I'm Sandy Max at WTMJ, and tonight we're talking about a life well lived. Bob Uecker about to turn 90 tomorrow. Well, how about you? Do you consider your life one that's well lived, or do you have things on your bucket list you haven't done yet? Well, let's travel together. Let's create some lasting memories in one of the most welcoming countries in the world, Ireland. We are going to be in Ireland May 4th through the 12th, and we'll travel to Galway, Killarney, Cork, Dublin, and see landmarks like the Cliffs of Moher, Blarney Castle, the Guinness Storehouse, and a lot more. Come with me and experience the friendliness of the Irish people and the unique culture there. Booking ends on Monday. Don't miss out on this. And it's going to be an easy trip because Steve Bertrand Travel, he's our travel expert, makes traveling easy, takes care of every aspect of the travel arrangements. Get more info. Don't miss out. I will email you the brochure if you send me a note at sandy@WTMJ.com. That's SANDY@WTMJ.com. Let's have some fun and taste some Guinness over there. Or you can call 847-606-6065.
So it's about time you spruced up your home. Nothing major. You're not looking to spend a ton, but you are looking for something that'll give your quarters a little upgrade. You know, there are a lot of things you can do with glass. Simply beveling your mirrors can do wonders. You can mill out your wood cabinet doors and replace the center with attractive glass inserts, or customize them with unique handcrafted artistry, or maybe a theme. You could even install a new glass shower door and add some real appeal to your bathroom. They're all pretty affordable home improvements. And Les's Glass Service has been helping homeowners like you for just about longer than anyone in town. You probably don't realize how affordably we can help you reach your home's full potential. But we do, and we can show you countless options. So if it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
This is What's on Tap with Sandy Max.
Growing up, Orchard Field was a AAA ballpark in Milwaukee, which was about 8 blocks from my house. And on Sundays, Jesus, it was jammed.
2-2 the count. Struck out, swinging at a curve. Out.
Listening to baseball at night on a transistor radio in my room, man, that was it. All night long.
And the next pitch, Gehringer lined a hit. Back at second base. Watson scoring. Right is
I actually started out pitching, and I was doing bad. It was nothing to do with the catcher. And after a particularly bad inning, I was sitting next to him on the bench, and I got on him a little bit about a couple pitches that I threw in the dirt that he didn't block. He said, "You think you're so good? Do it." So he took the shin guards off, and I put them on. I asked the manager, and I liked it. It was putting signs down and calling the game. Getting hit with foul balls in the mask, and it felt good.
They pop foul. They catch a Uecker under it, and we have 2 down.
We always laughed about it because I was the first native Milwaukeean to play with the Braves.
Charlie Dressen, I guess, was managing the Braves. Yes. Right? That's your first big league club, right. The Milwaukee Braves.
Yes.
And when he sends you out, he says, "There's no room in baseball for a clown."
That's what he said. Yeah.
And then I was also the first native Milwaukeean to be sent to the minor leagues by the Braves.
I remember that like it was a long time ago. Which it was, yes.
Yeah, I said that as a joke. Play me, trade me, or I'll quit. And they did trade me. But we won a world championship, too, with St. Louis.
This is you, isn't it, Robert? In this last picture, I can't even guess what you're doing here.
Well, this was taken during the 1964 World Series. They had 4 bands on the field, and
we were taking batting practice, and you caught about 5 balls in that tuba.
Well, none of them can use a tuba like you, Bob.
No, that's it, yeah.
I mean, let's face it, you know.
That is an excerpt from the documentary film In Progress titled Uke, celebrating Bob Uecker's baseball career and his pop culture impact, and also just how special he is and the connection he's made with people. And in that clip, boy, do we get a sense of how proud Bob Uecker is to be from Milwaukee, in addition to his journey of not necessarily being the best athlete. In the studio with me are the co-directors of this new documentary, Uke, Steve Farr, and Michael T. Volman. Thanks for being here. It has been fun learning about this process and your insights so far. But Milwaukee, in Bob Uecker's DNA, and really, he's in the city's DNA. He's in the state's DNA. It's one thing to be proud of where you grew up from. I think we all feel that. What do you think it is that makes Bob's just connection to Milwaukee so powerful?
He's kind of thinks of himself as an everyman. You know, he's I definitely grew up in kind of a blue-collar household, like a lot of people in Milwaukee did and do. I don't think he ever puts himself up higher than anybody else. I mean, he has kind of when he comes to the ballpark in the morning, he drives his Corvette in typically, right? But then he stops and he'll talk to the landscaping guys, you know, and then we'll talk to. It goes from one kind of room to the next, and just talking to everybody, and everybody's friends with him. It's just kind of interesting because I can't imagine Vince Scully did this type of thing with the Dodgers, but I might be wrong. But he's just got such a great personality, and people just relate to him so well and connect on so many different levels. And even the ball players. I mean, you've got someone who's turning 90 tomorrow, and he genuinely connects with 21, 22-year-old ball players.
I never saw him have such a youthful energy than recently when we went to the playoffs in 2018, and he's getting soaked with champagne. Right. And it's just that energy. You could hear it in his voice when he had a remote kit in the locker room during the WTMJ broadcast, and you could just hear his joy in what you say. Sure, he's an older man, but he sounded 50 when he was in that locker room high-fiving, and you can hear the guys say, pouring champagne and beer on him. He really was genuinely in his element.
Yeah, I mean, as far as him calling games, I mean, like, I've enjoyed, I'd say, like, he's on top of his game, like, for all of his career. I've enjoyed, like, I don't know what the last 5-10 years, I mean, I just think he appreciates it more than ever and does such a great job. He's really on. And then just as far as connecting with the team, I mean, he's like has different handshakes with each ball player in the clubhouse and kind of connects with them. He talks to the players' moms. He kind of builds a relationship with the families and things like that because he knows what it was like to be a ball player and the difficulties of it and the positive things of it. So I think I don't know. It's like he makes decisions to kind of help people rise to their best, in the game, in the family, stuff like that.
It's because he loves the game so much, and seems to genuinely be a people person. When you value those relationships from everybody in the ballpark, every single person from Bud Selig, who he doesn't even call Bud, it's fascinating. So I love that you're digging deeper into the person that is Bob Uecker in your new documentary. We're going to find out more behind the scenes with Steve Farr and Michael T. Volman, the co-directors, after we get an update from the WTMJ Breaking News Center. Here's Jessica Gatzo.
Thanks, Sandy. Assembly Republicans voted this afternoon to pass a bill banning abortions after 14 weeks of pregnancy. Governor Tony Evers is expected to veto it. The legislation does have exceptions for situations in which the mother's life or health would be endangered without the procedure. The bill would reduce the time frame for legal abortions in Wisconsin by 6 weeks. It heads to the Republican-led Senate next. High school juniors attending Milwaukee Public Schools can now apply to Milwaukee's 2 largest colleges for free. Milwaukee Direct Admit is a new initiative by the M-Cubed Partnership. It provides a streamlined online application to Milwaukee Area Technical College, University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, or both schools without any fees or additional paperwork or essays or letters of recommendation. Students who apply are guaranteed acceptance to at least one of the schools they select. The U.S. Coast Guard rescued a dog from icy waters in Kenosha today. An officer of Coast Guard Station Kenosha saw the dog fall off the pier near the Great Lakes Yacht Club in Kenosha Harbor this afternoon. The dog was in the water for about 15 minutes until the ice rescue team was able to pull her to safety. The dog was cared for at the Humane Society before being released back to station personnel. Anyone who believes this is their dog should contact Station Kenosha. Taking a look at your roads with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Travel times are looking pretty good right now. Just one crash to look out for. It's on 4145 South, about a quarter mile beyond the ramp from North Avenue. Looks like it's pulled off to the right shoulder. And time for your WTMJ forecast. We've got a dense fog advisory in effect until 3 a.m. for most of southeast Wisconsin. Tonight also rainy with a low of 35. On Friday, we'll see light rain and some areas of fog again. We'll see about a total of about a half an inch of precipitation, a high of 40. On Saturday, mostly cloudy and mild with another chance for fog, a high of 40. On Sunday, partly cloudy skies with a high of 42. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 36 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Siding Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 6:33.
It's the last resort that comes with a grueling and painful recovery. And from what I've been told, it never really feels quite natural. A total knee replacement may make the pain you're living with eventually go away, but it opens up a Pandora's box of other possible issues. And that's why surgeons who really do care will tell you that it's a last resort. There are other surgeons who cry, "Replace! Replace!" But the physicians you'll find at Rejuvenex are primarily concerned with relief. And you may find out that the relief we give you helps so much so that you may not need to get that total knee replacement. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics. Our FDA-approved pain treatments aid inflammation and lubricate your joints. And in most cases, insurance has been shown to cover the costs. At Rejuvenex, we can alleviate your pain, and that'll rejuvenate your life.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
Hey, there's free pizza today at the Amazing Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford. Seriously, it's free. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Every Thursday when you buy one pizza, you get a second pizza free. No coupons, no gimmicks. It's the best Thursday dining value anywhere, and it's delicious. Buy 2 pizzas, get 2 free. Buy 10, get 10 free. Any size, any quantity. Coaches, bring in your basketball, hockey, wrestling, gymnastics teams. Your players can beef up on the Mind Chef's great pizza. Your players will also love that world-class game room. It's great for team bonding. It's big food. It's big fun. Bring in pizza today for your loyal employees and valued clients. They'll appreciate you, and your second pizza is free. So don't cook and clean today. Take your family to the Mine Shaft. Buy one pizza, get one free. Plenty to take home for tomorrow. The Mine Shaft right there in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh off the interstate. Order now and pick up your free hot pizza shortly. I love the pepperoni. It's the Amazing Mine Shaft.
What's on Tap with Sandy Max is back on WTMJ.
Did you imagine yourself being a broadcaster?
No way.
Hello again, everybody. Harry Doyle here, welcoming all you friends of the Feather to another season of Indians baseball.
I used to sit in the bullpen and do Harry Carey.
Here we are in the Cardinal clubhouse with along with Jack Buck.
And when I first started doing it for real, it was the worst.
Buddy hired me in 1971. I was doing a New York writers' dinner, and Bud asked me if I'd like to come back to Milwaukee and work. And I said, yeah.
I had to do play-by-play. I never did it before. Never. All the stuff I did, the Tonight Shows and all the other stuff. I don't know if I was ever that frightened. And we're in Yankee Stadium. The engineer finally said, "Uke, you better start talking. There's one out."
Yelich to left, deep, warning track, get up,
is an excerpt from the documentary film In Progress titled Uke, and you get to see images of Milwaukee Brewers broadcasting legend Bob Uecker celebrating with the teams, getting soaked in 1982 with Robin Yount and Paul Molitor, and more recently in 2018 in the locker room with so many of the players. The co-directors of this documentary, In Progress, Steve Farr and Michael T. Volman, are with me in the studio, and you guys have spent the last year following Uke at the ball games, talking with him, talking with his colleagues. And what's something you can tell me about being in the broadcast booth with him? That is such a special space.
We first started shooting with Uke actually in spring training last year, and we spent a few days, interviewing and just meeting with him. And then Steve and Joe, our DP, they went and filmed with him in the booth, and it just was kind of, I guess when I saw the footage, they brought the footage back, and I was looking through it. I was like, there's such a process and such like a performative aspect of the radio, and it sounds so natural when you listen on the radio. But then when you see like his just the way he has like his methods of like highlighting certain things, and he, reading through his research, and he has his own very special scorecard that I guess has been customized for his kind of unique desires to keep score of the game. And he and the other broadcasters share that book, and they pass it back and forth depending on who's calling the inning. And it's funny because Lane Grindle and Jeff Levering, they would say like they kind of would get nervous when they first started working with you to like that they didn't want to mess up his methods of like how he took score and do everything the right way so that it'd be a seamless transition. And I guess he actually has someone print like specific score books for the season. I think they go through like 2 a year. And he has a guy that does it. And then through filming, we actually, I think at one point, Lane Grindle kind of showed us took us over to like a locker, and they pulled out like scorecards from, I don't know, a decade worth of games. And it was like, you could literally open up a score book from any game and kind of just like read it if you know how to read it and know like, the history of that game for decades.
Yeah. Baseball hieroglyphics.
That's what I say, the Euchre system and the shorthand, and
Honestly.
that's got to be fascinating. What a cool archive and baseball artifacts.
For sure. Yeah.
So what is the next step to creating this documentary of Uke? What's next on the documentary filmmaker schedule?
Well, we still have a lot of filming to do. We took a little break after the season. I mean, that's I can see why the players are tired at the end of a season. And I think, Bob too. I mean, it took a toll, I think, by the end of the season. So letting everyone rest up, but we're going to start up with interviews again, more interviews with Bob. We still have to speak with Judy and family members, and then we really need to get out to L.A. because there's aspects of Bob's life that we haven't touched upon because being in Milwaukee, it was easy for us to go to the ballpark and film that type of thing. So we can tell the baseball side of the story pretty easily. But there's the Hollywood Bob.
Yep.
There's the Major League Bob, and there's the Tonight Show Bob, and the Mr. Belvedere Bob, and I think I mentioned earlier, Sandy, about the professional wrestling, which isn't like my thing really. But if you talk to younger Bob fans, a lot of them, they know him through professional wrestling more than they do for baseball.
His appearance there wasn't long, but it was impactful. It was memorable.
Right.
If only we could talk to Andre the Giant.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to think that when you ask, hey, we're making a documentary about Bob Uecker's life, would you be willing to chat with us? Does anybody say no?
Oh, I don't think anyone said no, right?
No one said no. No.
The people are lining up. Yeah. They hear about
Good.
it, and next thing you know, we're hearing from their people that they'd love to be
We've reached out
interviewed.
and talked to people, and like, when are you coming? When are you going to be here? When are you be coming out to LA? The Belvedere, a lot of Belvedere, the cast members, we've talked to them, and they're all very excited and
good. How do we
board.
follow along with the progress of Uke, the documentary?
Yeah, our webpage is september.club/Uke, UECK, september.club/Uke.
Excellent. Well, thank you very, very much for spending time with us and giving us, this is like being behind the scenes in the wings of a theater production. Like, this is the ground floor. You are in progress in this documentary. So thank you for sharing that so far. And I hope that you come back and visit because I want to know more of its progress.
Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, Sandy. Appreciate
It is Steve Farr and Michael T. Volman, co-directors of the documentary in progress, Uke. And we are continuing the celebration of Bob Uecker on this, the eve of his birthday tomorrow. Greetings from fans and funny memories. I'm Sandy Max, and that's next on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Meet Alan, who was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
I was what they call a mouth breather, and I would breathe at night with my mouth open.
And for about 8 years, Alan struggled with a CPAP machine. And then
I saw the Advent commercial, and I thought, well, what do you got to lose? This machine is miserable.
For most people, CPAP machines are miserable, but a simple breathing triangle solution from Advent can be life-changing.
And it really was, to me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear.
This is Dr. Madan Kiandula. After having one of Advent's simple breathing triangle procedures, people are amazed at how freely and clearly they can breathe.
I'm happy with the procedure. I'm very glad I did it. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago. I could have avoided that machine I had to have laying next to the bed with the hose wrapped around my head.
Schedule your appointment at AdventKnows.com because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary.
I'm Sandy Max with WTMJ, and wintertime is one of those times where you realize, do I really want to keep up with the house? Or you realize that maybe you're concerned about your parents or a loved one trying to take care of the snow and ice this winter. Maybe 2024 is the year. Donate the shovels, donate the salt buckets, and let the kind folks at Three Pillars take care of all of that kind of maintenance work and just relax and enjoy life in scenic lake country. And Three Pillars is the state's top-rated senior living community. It's a safe, serene setting for your loved ones, and they offer a full continuum of care, so they're covered every step of the way. Make an appointment to tour Three Pillars today at their website, threepillars.org.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Milwaukee attorneys. 111 East Kilbourne Avenue, Suite 1650, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53202.
Psst, hey, Mark, remember, getting help from Progressive is so easy. You can use the mobile app, chat with us online, or call us.
And you pick now to tell me.
I couldn't miss Little Grace's ballet recital. Oh, thanks for inviting me, by the way.
Did I?
Because you know I'm always here for you.
Yeah. I can use the mobile app if I need help. Sorry, you're in my wife's seat, though?
Oh, yeah, I gotta go anyway. Tell Grace she nailed her chassé.
Get the help you need from Progressive with our mobile app, online chat, or over the phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Welcome back to What's on Tap on WTMJ.
It's a show about culture and creativity here in Wisconsin and around the world. I'm Sandy Max, and we are celebrating Bob Uecker on the night before his 90th birthday. I've been talking with co-directors of the new documentary in progress about his life called Uke. And if you missed any of that chat, catch up on the What's on Tap podcast that will be posted later tonight. And a song inspired by Bob Uecker by a Wisconsin musician is coming up as the song you need to hear. But first, as a Brewers fan and an original Milwaukee Brewers game day host, I certainly circulate in a group that loves Bob Uecker. And it is my pleasure to share with you some of that affection, starting with my buddy Tim Shea, who I used to work with at the ballpark.
When I hear the name Bob Uecker, an instant smile comes to my face. I could listen to him talk about baseball all day long if I could. Having the pleasure to work with him for 4 years, every joke and every story that he would tell ended in laughter and tears. Happy birthday, Mr. Baseball. Enjoy your day.
When I hear the name Bob Uecker, I smile. And I know he's known as Mr. Baseball, but for me, he's known as Mr. Joy.
I'm Bob Brainerd, and when I was covering the Brewers for Fox Sports Wisconsin, I wanted to avoid an exchange with Bob Uecker that had us going, Bob. So whenever I did cross paths with Ueck, I would nod and acknowledge him with a, Robert? Well, he would grin and return with a, hey, Bobby! And that always made my day. Happy 90th, Robert.
Hi there, this is Susan Varela. I'm the executive director at Skylight Music Theater here in Milwaukee. And the first thing I think of when I hear the name Bob Uecker is the movie Major League. I was actually cast in the movie. And when I went home to tell my parents, my dad said, well, who's in the movie? And I said, well, Rene Russo and Corbin Burnson and Charlie Sheen. And he was like, uh-huh. And I said, Bob Uecker? And he went, Bob Uecker? That's when he was impressed. It was a thrill to be on set with him and watch his work from afar. So happy birthday, Bob. I'm still a fan.
What comes to mind most is his home run call. Get up, get out of here, gone. I hope that Bob has a wonderful, wonderful birthday. I can smell baseball from here.
I think of great baseball players drink light because it's less filling. I know, I asked one. As well as, I must be in the front row.
First thing that comes to mind is his sense of humor. I mean, how many times did he kill it on the Johnny Carson show? And then playing George Owens on Mr. Belvedere while being Mr. Baseball at the same time? And still going strong after 51 years? Wow. Happiest of birthdays, Ueck.
Hi, this is Tony Award winner Anthony Crivello, and I want to send special happy birthday wishes to Bob Uecker. Next to the Crusher, the man who made Milwaukee famous, known across all of media as Mr. Baseball. When I hear the name Bob Uecker, what comes to mind? There's too many things to mention. Everything from Usinger sausages, to his breaking in with the Braves in Milwaukee in 1962, to his special Bob Uecker statue permanently enshrined in AmFam Field in Section 422. Bob, the city of Milwaukee and all of baseball fans owe you so much. And I want to thank you and again, wish you a very, very happy birthday. God bless, Bob. We all love you.
Happy birthday, Ueck. John Suntress here. Always been a fan. What I've always loved about you is, even as a Cub fan, and I don't want to upset Milwaukee listeners because I know the last thing you want to hear is from an Illinois person, but it's always been a pleasure listening to you do Brewer games. You're one of a kind, man, and I'm glad you're out there. Happy birthday.
When I hear the name Bob Uecker, I think of a lot of things like Harry Doyle, just a bit outside. Miller Lite commercials, must be in the front row. And the countless, I think 100 times or more that he appeared on the Johnny Carson show. Deadpan delivery, comic genius. Just love Bob Uecker. And of course, being an old dude, I remember Bob Uecker as a baseball player. I was a big St. Louis Cardinal fan, and only one time a year could we make the long trip to St. Louis to see a ball game, and I would look in the paper and I'd try to figure out the starting rotation and who was going to be pitching that day. And I kept hoping and hoping and hoping that it would not be Bob Uecker. I was a big Tim McCarver fan, and I wanted to see the starting lineup. I didn't want to see any of these subs coming in, and at that time, of course, he was a sub. But Bob Uecker, what a life, what a legend. His photo with Bob Gibson in 1964, the team photo, he's holding hands with Bob Gibson. Hilarious. And I just wish him a happy birthday and hope that someday they'll do a movie about you, Bob, and I think they should call it Tuba in the Outfield.
When I hear the name Bob Uecker, I think of one word, funny. Born and raised in Milwaukee, I listen to Brewers games on WTMJ with Merle Harmon and Bob Uecker like everybody else. And I wondered why Bob would tell rambling stories about his time in baseball and other things that happened in his life. Then years later, I saw him on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and those very same stories were polished, and he delivered them with his dry wit and sense of humor that he had, and the place went nuts. I know how much hard work went into it. So it helped me as a professional comedian see behind the scenes of what goes into being.
It's time to make the call. It's time to get that lasting relief you deserve from that awful joint pain in 2024. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik for QC Kinetics. Hey, don't go another year compromising because of that awful pain in your knees or your shoulder. Give a call to QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative, non-surgical pain relief. Now, the best part is your body has what it needs to restore and repair that damaged joint tissue. That means no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. QC Kinetics can make it happen. Hundreds of board-certified QC Kinetics providers have treated tens of thousands of satisfied patients all over America. People with back pain, with hip pain, any pain associated with arthritis or an injury. And it's not a Band-Aid fix. This is revolutionary. It's treatment that can get you moving again and get your life back. Take the first step now. Give a call to QC Kinetics. A free consultation awaits. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Chris and Tim closed their first loan with Accunet $116,000 ago in terms of the median sales price in southeastern Wisconsin. We helped their daughter buy a home earlier this year, and now we're helping them buy their retirement condo. We're told there were 3 offers, 2 cash offers, and Chris and Tim's offer backed up by an Accunet rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval. All 3 offers were probably over the asking price, but we're surmising Chris and Tim's offer was the highest because when the sellers asked the listing broker if they could count on the offer with the pre-approval letter, the answer was simply, Accunet really does their homework. It's not easy to beat a cash offer over the asking price, but that's exactly what Tim and Chris did with some help from their trusted family mortgage lender. If you don't think the lender's name on your pre-approval letter matters, think again. It's still a seller's market in the Badger State, so click on the blue button at Accunet.com today to get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval. That's ACCUNET.com.
AccuRite Tax and Financial Services has Toshiba copiers and network printers from James Imaging Systems. President CEO Jason Rose.
We have 17 different tax preparers on staff, and we have 4 printers running pretty much nonstop. And during tax season, it's absolutely crazy.
And Jason, those printers from James Imaging Systems have to work just as hard and reliably as your people do.
Oh yeah, yes. Something comes up that's an issue, we have somebody that we can call that can help us resolve the issue very quickly and efficiently.
Reliable printing, reliable service. That's a good thing.
That is a good thing. That helps tremendously keep us being productive, keeps those tax returns going.
Jason, bottom line for your practice?
Happy clients, happy workers, happy me.
Don't worry, be happy with document imaging technology and extraordinary local support from James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Welcome back to What's on Tap on WTMJ.
I am Sandy Max, and I'm so sorry. We accidentally cut off the Euchre fan montage, but so many Euchre admirers. You heard the voices of Tim Shea, Denise Wilkie, Bob Brainerd, Susan Varela, Stephanie Walters, Jason Pinkowski, Kelly Shears, Anthony Crivello, John Suntress, Spiff Carner, and Dobie Maxwell. And we'll zip right back with a cool song, the song you need to hear next. But here's a voice you really need to hear.
And on the pitch. Zip. Zip. Was he swinging 3-0? Zip. 3 balls and a strike on Christian.
And now, feast your ears. This is the song you need to hear.
Most blokes are going to be playing at 10. These go to 11.
Hey, this is Willie Porter. I want to wish Bob Euchre a very, very happy birthday and send this song out to him. I'm so grateful that I grew up listening to baseball on the radio with my dad in the garage, working on old race cars and all kinds of house projects. That was my introduction really to what baseball could be, how people could see it. And the game was made visual by Bob Euchre's voice as he came into our garage as we worked on these projects together. I'll forever be grateful for that. Happy birthday, Bob. You're an American treasure.
Had a Chevy V8 with Naugahyde seats. Family station wagon, 1973. We were driving to the store, Bob Euchre calling the place. Just a 9-year-old kid, my dad had nothing to say, nothing. I asked him, what do we need? He said, I don't know. Well, why did we drive to Sears? He said, it's good to hear some baseball on the radio. And for now, your mother's not here. For now, your mother's not here. We had baseball on the radio. Baseball on the radio. It'll unwind your mind. You can let it all go. Baseball on the radio. Now we're planting some shrubs. My kids are working for cash. Radio says the pitcher just brushed him back. Just a little chin music backed him out of the box. Euchre's weaving a story like he's knitting some socks. Yeah. Well, the book is always better than the movie.
It is Baseball on the Radio by Whammy Award-winning Wisconsin music artist Willie Porter, who wrote and recorded the song as a tribute to Bob's 50th anniversary as a Hall of Fame baseball announcer. I'm Sandy Maggs. Thanks for joining me. Revisit all the Euchre goodness on the What's on Tap podcast and our What's on Tap YouTube channel. News is next on WTMJ.
Finished like a song. Now everybody's laughing, dancing along.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a good Karma brand station.
Hey 620 WTMJ fans, Gary Ellison here for my friends at Best Electric Services. They're family owned and operated and have been serving you for over 50 years. No job is too big or too small, whether it's completing a residential or commercial project or even installing electrical vehicle chargers.